get social. Come and sew with me. Let's get social. You know it ain't that hard to do. Let's get social.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming. Today we are going to be sewing another no pattern dress. We are going to be doing a off the shoulder dress with a ruffle layer at the bottom. Sleeveless dress. And unlike the other times, this time I actually put some prep instructions in the description so that if you wanted to sew along, you could prep your fabric. But I'm going to still talk about it because maybe you didn't know it was there, or maybe you don't want to sew along but you plan to sew later, and so you're watching this and at a later time and you're like, hey, I need to know how to prep my fabric. So this pattern was designed by a woman by the name of Diana DeMarchi, I think is her name. When I found it on, I think, Instagram, YouTube, she doesn't speak English. I'm not sure what her native language is because since she didn't speak English, I didn't listen to it. I just kind of watched what she did and then kind of went from there. Hey, Tydri, happy birthday. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Yvette. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't know why I've been so thirsty lately. Something is weird is going on outside. I'm sorry. I just need to do this. I've been wanting to do this all day. There is like a ton of birds flying around outside, even in the rain. At first I thought they were bats, and I've never seen anything like this in my life. This like almost makes me, it feels like the end of times or something. I don't know. It's really weird. But I just wanted to record it because I've been watching it out of the glimpse side of my eye because it's been raining all day. I've never seen birds outside in the rain. Like, I don't know. Maybe they are. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you, Denise. I am in Baltimore. Hey, Shamir. And it's like, I thought these things were bats out here, but it's just too many. It's got to be like a couple hundred birds outside. It's weird. The only thing I could think of is we got these like little teeny bugs called midges. I don't know if y'all have them, but they are like everywhere right now. And I don't know, maybe they're eating them. I don't know. Anyway, it's a distraction. And because I'm right here with these windows, I'm like seeing it up close. I don't know if y'all can see them out there. Can y'all see them? All those birds flying around out there? I don't know if y'all can see them, but it's a huge distraction because they're like all right here, just like flying by me. And that's what made me just want to record it real quick. And they've been doing that all day, even in the rain. Do birds fly in the rain? I always thought they didn't. I've never seen them fly in the rain, and these things have been going off. Anyway, okay, I got distracted. That was that. You welcome. I hope my birthday is next week. You say you can't see the birds. Well, I'm telling you, they are out there like crazy. If I get a good recording, I'll post this so you can see it. I'll put it in my stories or something, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird. Okay, so here we are. We're getting started. So Denise DeMarchi is the person who is the original designer of the dress, and it can be done with a woven or a knit garment. But if you are going to do it with a knit, you definitely want to probably I guess downsize a little bit, even though you're kind of going to be kind of taking the measurements as you go. So if you're using a knit and you use a knit top to make the fabric, then your dress is likely going to be that size as well. And if you do a woven, You may want to add a little bit to the measurements in order to make sure that it fits the way you want it to fit. So we're using a t-shirt, a sleeveless t-shirt as a guide. This is the t-shirt that I use to make my dress. And you are going to be folding down one of the shoulders like this to make a one arm dress. So basically it's going to look like this. Your top of your dress is going to look like this, because you're going to fold down one of the shoulders. Then you're basically going to trace around this, and then I added a 1/2 inch all the way around for my seam allowance, and because I'm using a woven also, and this is a knit, but this is actually loose fitting, it's not tight fitting, so I felt pretty good about it. But I added a 1/2 inch all the way around just so I have a little bit of room to play with. And then this is 15, on me, this is 15 inches from under the arm to wherever it stops. And so for me, I added another 18 inches to take it all the way down to the bottom of my calf. And then I ended up doing my ruffle layer around 10 inches. So for me, it's going to come all the way down to my ankle. But it really is about whatever measurement you want, wherever you want your dress to end, wherever you want your ruffle layer to begin or end. I put in the instructions 12 inches because I think that is what the lady had used, but I decided to bring my dress down just a little bit more and then make the ruffle just a little bit shorter. All of that is about your preference. What else? Okay, so then that is your main garment piece, which here's mine right here. My main garment piece. And like I said, it comes down pretty long, because I like my dresses to be long, and then or to be short. So it's either going to be short, or it's going to be long. And then so here's my two pieces, my front and my back dress. Here is my ruffle piece, and then you have your straps, and your strap is actually going to be a band that's going to finish around the top. So it's going to finish that under the arm around, and then it's going to continue on to a strap. And so you needed to cut a piece that was the same measurement of going all the way around. So the front to the back, you need to cut I might have made mine too long. You need to cut 2 pieces. And then it's also going to be, the strap. So the rest of it's going to be a strap. And I actually think I did mine too long now I think about it. I think I did. So it's going to be around the front and around the back like this, because it's going to be finishing the top part of your dress. And then you're going to have extra for the strap. This one piece is actually probably going to be enough, but I did 2 pieces because I mismeasured. Because I think I tell you to cut 2 pieces thinking you'll have one to go halfway and then the other one to go halfway. So I cut 2 pieces, the total length, instead of 2 pieces, half of the length. When I was doing my measurement, I just realized that. So anyway, that is what we're going to do. So that's the strap. And then that's it. Actually, that is it. So these are my 2 pieces. I'm only probably going to need one. Although that strap part looked a little bit too short, so I might have to end up using both of them and then just end up wasting some fabric at the end. Look, there was one more piece. And then you need to we're going to finish the armhole, because you do have one armhole, because one is in the arm. So the piece that goes around the armhole, we're going to finish with bias tape, which you can either use commercial bias tape, which I'm going to use, or you could have cut your fabric. I don't like cutting bias tape because I don't like wasting fabric. I mean, it's not wasting fabric, but I don't like cutting my fabric on a bias, because unless it's scraps that I have left over from something else. So I'm using this or this, probably this. This is just some I had left over. It's on the inside. You're not going to see it. It's really about finishing it. Yeah, so you're not going to see it. I also have I need to get some new ones of these. They're not cutting as good as they used to cut. My pinking shears, I have them here as well. And I did pink some of these, and some of them, some of the pieces I did not. So with that said, let's get started. Okay, let me see. Let's see. It is not raining anymore. It just stopped raining. Okay, Todd, you said yes, they find the rain, but something strange is going on with them. Yeah, something is strange is going on. It's really weird. I've never seen this many birds. Because like I said, I thought they were bats at first, but I was like, that's way too many bats. Like in the daytime too, even though it's been overcast all day because it's been raining. It's actually brighter now than it was earlier because it was raining. Yes, my birthday is on the 27th, which is next Wednesday. So yeah, my birthday is after your birthday. That's what I remember. I don't remember exactly what day it is, but I feel like our birthday is like a week apart. So maybe your birthday's on the 20th or something like that, 21st or 20th. Yeah, maybe not 21st because that would have been yesterday. So yeah, the 20th or 20th. I feel like our birthdays are like a week apart. That's kind of what I remember in my brain. But my brain has been, foggy lately. So you tell me what it is. Hey, Sebs. Hey, Sebs. Okay, so with that said, let me make sure I covered all of the prep pieces. Oh, I didn't cut any pockets. You can cut pockets for this. And then, they don't have pockets on the original dress, but I'm like, you're basically doing the dress. So you can do whatever you want to do with the dress. And so I put on here that you can have pockets. And so the traditional pocket is trace around your hand, maybe do an inch around, and then you're going to have three, or you need one straight edge to line up with the side of the dress. So basically, if you have, it's like a backwards C. That's the way I describe it. So it's like your hand goes like this, and then this part right here has to be straight, or this part, I guess, has to be straight. Whatever part is going to line up with the side of the dress has to be straight. So it's a C or D, however you want to describe it, but just make sure your hand can fit inside of it. That's the main thing. So if you do want to do pockets, which I didn't cut pockets, I may add them later. But I'm always sensitive about adding pockets because I don't like when you can see the pockets through the dress. That's like a thing for me. I don't like it. It will make me not wear something if I feel like I can see the pockets. So let me tell y'all this too. I'm going to put a poll up. I saw this Instagram post. I was just browsing one night, and this lady had bought these men's suits and tailored them. And when I tell you they look so good, they look so good. So I ended up buying one, and I tried it on, and I really like it. I mean, it looks so good on me. But what I was thinking is that I really wanted to take the pants apart and make it into, I wanted to just cut it up because I bought it. It was super cheap, super inexpensive. And so I'm like, well, it's inexpensive. So I'm like, I could cut it up if I want. I would never be able to like sew this, not never. I could, it would take me forever. So I was thinking about doing it on live 1 month. I have to really prep myself because again, I'm not like good at taking stuff apart. But what I was thinking is taking the jacket, taking the suit jacket apart and making it like a crop jacket, and then taking the pants apart and making them into a skirt. I have to research it now. I don't know. I can't like, if I just do it like YOLO, I will truly have wasted my money because it may look like a YOLO for real. But I was thinking about doing it live. I thought it might be fun. And I'm like, people can go to thrift or something like that and grab a suit, a jacket or pants, and we can kind of do it together. So anyway, I was thinking about that. So let me know. I'm going to put a poll up. Just think about it if that's something you think that would be interesting. And we wouldn't do it all in one. We might do the pants, turn the pants into a skirt one, and then cut the blazer and turn it into a crop blazer like separately, a second one. So anyway, think about it. I'm going to put a poll up on Instagram, and maybe I'll put it up on YouTube in the community tab too. So both places will have it. And then people can think about it. Oh, and then let me see on Facebook. I think I could put a poll on Facebook too. So that way everybody has it everywhere you are. And we can kind of decide, is that something that might be interesting? Would you be willing to like try it, go to the thrift or wherever and buy a suit, because I'm not recommending that you cut up like a suit that you actually have, because yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. But if you could get one like inexpensive, one that you're like, if I cut this up and it turns it into a disaster, I'm not going to be upset about it. That is the kind of suit that you have. Yeah, well, you know what? So yeah, you're right. I know Blueprint DIY. She has been doing those for upcycling forever, and I think she probably has some. It's been so long since I looked at something from her, so I might need to go back, because I'm confident, to your point, Yvette, that she has something, because she's been doing that forever and ever and ever. So I might have to go and look on her page so I can like refresh my memory about how do I do something like that. Yes, the no pattern. I'm like here for it, because it's the easiest prep I ever have to do. You don't have to tape anything together. You don't have to cut anything out. You just do your measurements, and then and like I know the last couple ones I've been doing, I've had to do like a little bit of modification afterwards, but it's quick. It's like I put it together online with you all, and then as soon as if I have to do some kind of edit, I do that quick little edit, and then I can wear it. It's everything I've done in the no sew patterns, while they might be like a little bit on the edge when we do it on live, I'm able to make those quick little adjustments. A lot of times it's because I don't have the confidence, and I'm always cutting something larger, because I'm so afraid that if I cut it too small and it doesn't fit, then that's it. I can't wear it. So I always kind of, even with this dress, to be honest with you, as much as I said, oh, just trust the process, don't overcut, I cut it a little bit longer. I cut a little bit, just a little bit on the edges. So it might be a little bit, but it's so much easier for me to just take it down the sewing machine and take off a half an inch on, a quarter inch on each side, so I get the fit I want. So that's why most of the time it doesn't fit right when I try it on here, is because I've added a lot of extra. Not a lot, but I've added enough extra that it changes the fit, and I do that because I'm always nervous about it being too small. So okay, anyway, let's get started. Okay, so we have our two pattern pieces here, and let me just show you my fabric, because these are already wrong size together, so I'm not going to separate them because they are lined up perfectly. But this is my fabric. It is a woven fabric, a silky type fabric. I've had it for a billion years. I honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to like this fabric, like this. I bought it. I don't know what I bought it to make. I think I bought it to make like one of those silky pantsuits, and a top. Remember when we made those Beyonce tops and bottoms? I feel like I bought it to make that with it and never made it. And I have like 8 yards of it. And so I was like, you know what? Let me make this dress. Let me try. So when I was cutting it and looking at it, I was like, I'm not really a flower person, but I thought it was going to be cute for that. And I kind of do like these like fall like colors. This is my color vibe right here. If it's not black, it's got to be burnt orange or some kind of like dark, deep purple, whatever. I like the colors, but I'm not really a flower person. With that said, if it looks good, then I will become a flower person, because I'll be wearing it. It is woven. Yes. Hi, Lynette. Welcome. Yes, it is a woven. And I was going to do a knit at first, but I was like, let me use this fabric, because I ain't going to never use it, because every time I look at it, I'm like, do I really like it? Do I not? Okay, so first things first, we are going to sew up our sides of our dress. This feels like it's going to be so easy. I'm nervous that it's going to be so easy. Okay, so let me not say that, because then we run into problems when I say that. Okay, so basically we're going to sew up the left and the right side of the dress. I'm using a contrasting, because this dress has so many, and I'm using a 1/2 inch seam allowance, by the way. So instead of 5/8 of an inch, I'm using a 1/2 inch. So I'm using a mustard yellow thread. We'll see. I don't think there's going to be too many places where the thread is going to actually show. I am going to be using my ruffler to make the ruffle band at the bottom. be a perfect dress to do. Is it called the French seam? Is that the French seam where you do that one? You put the seam in, the raw edge you fold in, then you fold it over, and then you do the line like what they do on the jeans. I think that's what it's called, the French seam. This would be the perfect dress to do that. I'm not doing it, but I'm just saying. This would be the perfect dress to do that. Hey, Diane. How are you? Oh, yours is the 16th. Okay, I don't know why I thought we were a week apart. So we're like 2 weeks apart. Or, let me see, 10, 11 days. So not quite 2 weeks. Not quite. I thought about doing the bias tape, but I really kind of wanted it to do the bias tape made out of this fabric, but I just couldn't bring myself to cut my fabric up on the bias. Has anybody done made like the bias tape but not on the bias? Like just cut strips and use it like bias tape, but it's not actually bias, not on the angle, 45-degree angle. The more I thought about it, and I'm like, I got all this bias tape in there. Why would I waste my fabric when I got all this bias tape that I bought from Joann's back when Joann's was still open? The other thing I thought about too is because I am using this woven, of course, my fear is always, what if I can't get this thing over my head? But that should not be a problem because it's off the shoulder. You got all this room. But I said, if worst case scenario, what do I do with that zipper? This is not it. I have a zipper around here somewhere that I pulled out. I was like, if I need to put a zipper in, that was the other thing. I was like, I'll just put a zipper in. Oh, it says if you don't need to apply the curves. Okay. See, if I would have thought that I could do it, I would have just cut straight across. The only reason I didn't do it is because I thought, I'm not cutting this on the 45-degree angle. That's wasting all my fabric. And I was like, if I like the fabric, then I'm going to want to make more stuff with it. I'm like, this is perfect fabric for like a nice little slip dress with like the low back, that kind of thing. It's be perfect for that. So last week I was in Tennessee for the first half of the week, and then I was in your woven won't stretch if it's not covered by under. Yes, it won't stretch. Right. Which it's not. This is not. It's not meant to be cut. This dress is not meant to be cut. But I'm like for doing it under the arm. I'm like, the arm is the arm. Like it doesn't really have to stretch. I don't think. I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm like, we doing it to kind of finish the armhole. And the armhole is a finite, on a woven, it's a finite circle. It's not like stretching, I don't think. It's stretching. So, all right. So we have finished both of these, the sides. We've done both of the sides on here. And then the next thing we're going to do is we are going to finish I think we are finishing our shoulder seam, but don't sew the entire seam, shoulders. Leave like a ½ inch open at the end because we need to attach this strap. So leave like so sew it from the side that's going to make your armhole, but then on the side that comes over to your neckline, leave like the 1/2 inch open. Let me make sure I'm doing that. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Making sure I leave the right part. So have y'all went down the rabbit hole of all this controversy that has been, is to give you a clean nest comment, a bodice without a lining. Yes, it's without a lining. It does not have a lining. Yes, because this is, I mean, you could make a line. Oh man, I think I went too far. You could make a lining, but it would make it take a lot longer. So this is what I did. Here is my, and then I left this like piece open at the end because we are going to be adding to this our arm, our strip. And actually, you know what? I feel like she actually left this whole arm open. Now I need to look because I don't remember. Let me see. Let me see. Let me turn this sound down. So have y'all been following all this controversy that's been going on? Hola, hola, sewist. Hola. Hey, Lala, welcome. Welcome back. Happy to see you. Where is my history? So I can find this. Okay, here we go. History. Did y'all see Adeline's top that she made from what we made? Was it last week? Last week or the week before? It is so cute. She posted it on Instagram and on her YouTube page. If you didn't see it, you should go and see it. It is very cute. She did a great job. Okay, let me see. When did they start dividing these videos up by? Oh, here it is. Okay. Oh yeah, you know what? She does not sew that arm up. That shoulder. She leaves it open and you just make it a tie. I mean, I'm just looking at it right now. Yep. Okay, so we're going to take that out because we're going to do it this way. I actually, after I looked at it, I do like the way she did it. Okay. So I'm taking this out really quick because I do like the way she did it. So we are going to put our bias tape in first so we can finish that armhole. And then we're going to add our straps. So anyway, while I'm taking this apart, we could talk about that. So, oh yeah, okay, that's what I was saying. So as I was I spent a lot of time on the plane, and while I'm on the plane, if I'm not sleeping, I'm watching YouTube videos. And I went down the rabbit hole. And I don't know if y'all went down the rabbit hole, but I went down the rabbit hole. Has been going on about this young woman who has decided that she is going to call herself a doctor, but does not have to either show proof. There's questions of whether there actually is proof. I don't know if there is or not because she says she's not showing it and she don't have to show it. And it's just so many things, but that is one of the things. And the other thing was about this young woman. So let me just give y'all a backstory because I'm kind of diving into the middle of the conversation. I may not even have to go that far because maybe I'm the only one that went down the rabbit hole. But if you know what I'm talking about, let me know. But anyway, she went on one of these very popular podcasts and basically talked about how, if she's a therapist, and but she's not licensed, and the reason why she's not licensed is because the only reason you need a license is so that you could bill insurance. You say you've seen a little bit of it. Yeah. Well, as a person who has a couple of different licenses, I could tell you that it's the other way around. Yes, you do need a license to bill insurance, but that is not the only reason that you need a license. In fact, the primary reason that you need a license is so that you are able to be held accountable to whatever the standard of practice that you are supposed to be delivering. So if it's law or if it's nursing, which are my two fields, I have licenses in both. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, then somebody can make a complaint, malpractice, and I can lose my law license, or they could say, you haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing as a nurse, and I can lose my nursing license. And so that is, in my mind, and most practitioners' minds who are required to have a license, like the number one thing why you have a license, because it demonstrates that you have completed schooling, which is the first requirement in order to get a license. But you can complete schooling and not have a license. I do know nurses, for example, or I actually know people who have went to law school. They have their degree, but they are not an attorney. They cannot practice law, even though they have a law degree, or they cannot be a nurse, even though they have a bachelor's of science in nursing, or they can't practice nursing. They can't go into a hospital and hang IVs and assess you because they don't have a license. So they can't do it. Even though they have the knowledge and they can understand and they might can talk about it, they can't actually physically do it, nor can they call themselves a nurse, nor can they call themselves an attorney, because that would be illegal to do one of those things unless you actually have sat for the bar exam or sat for the nursing board, and you can only do that once you get successfully complete your educational components requirements. So anyway, it's like the educational piece and the licensing piece are two separate things. You do have to have the education to have the license, but just because you have the education does not mean that you have the license, because that is a separate step. And in most cases, or I would say, at least I can't speak for all the other types of licensing, but for law and for nursing, you cannot say you're a nurse unless you have a license. You cannot say you're an attorney unless you have a license to practice, and you can only do it in the States, and both for nursing and law, you can only practice in the states where you have a license. So it's not just a universal license, although for nursing there is something that is similar to that, but it's not in every state. So anyway, when I was listening to the woman, when I was listening to her in that podcast, I was like, yeah, ma'am, that doesn't sound right to me. Number one, that does not sound right. And some of the things you were saying made me a little nervous, especially when it comes to mental health, because people are already a little bit nervous and skeptical about mental health and therapy and things like that it's not real, or that people aren't doing the right thing. And so when you get somebody that says, yeah, I don't have a license, because that basically means if you do the wrong thing, like breach confidentiality, like start talking about all the things, or have a relationship with inappropriate relationship with your client, financial or otherwise, because there's a lot of inappropriate relationships, not just sexual or relationship wise. There's financial relationships and others. Let me see. Yes, malpractice. That's right, Diane. And that's what you would be committing, malpractice, both legally, if you did something wrong while you under your license. Somebody can file a complaint, and the bar would look at it and say, what did you do? Did you meet these standards that you're supposed to meet? Did you, did you give advice that was clearly not correct, or did you practice in an area of law that you don't have a subject matter expertise in, and then somebody, had a bad outcome financially, or they entered into a contract, or however you might have advised them as an attorney? Did you do the wrong thing, or did you take their money, or did you not withhold the privilege, like, that you have between an attorney and a client? Or on the health side, like, did you not, uphold HIPAA, requirements, or, confidentiality, by not discussing things or disclosing things with non-healthcare related people that are in this person's, taking care of this person? Like, if you do those things, you are going to be held accountable, and that accountability comes through your licensing. That expectation, that knowledge that you have to do these things, comes from, the licensing aspect. So you learn the knowledge of how to be an attorney, you learn how to be a nurse, but you also learn, if you don't do these things, you will lose your license. So that's illegal if they do that without a license. Yes, in some, like, so I'll speak specifically to, and I've heard just from, listening to some subject matter experts on the therapy side, but definitely on the nursing side. If you go out, even if you have a license and you don't renew it timely, that is problematic, because at that point in time you are practicing nursing without a license. And so your hospital, or wherever you work at, if you work, in a nursing home, or wherever you might be working, insurance company or whatever, if you are required to have that license to perform the skills that you're performing, and you let your license lapse, then the hospital can't bill the insurance or Medicare or Medicaid for your services, because in order for them to say that you're a nurse, you have to have a license. So even if you let your license, same thing is true with, like, therapists. If, physical therapists, occupational therapists, they have a license, and in order for them to bill, or the hospital to bill for the services that were provided, I'm just using the hospital for example, it could be another, rehab place or something, I'm just using hospital for example, the license must be kept current. And so you must do whatever it is to keep the license current. If you have to get CLEs, like continuing legal education credits, every state is different. I'm barred in DC. They don't have minimum requirements there. They want you to do pro bono work instead of getting legal education, although they offer a ton of opportunity. But some states say you have to get X number. So you have to do all these things in addition to paying your fees to keep your license. In many cases on the nursing side, for example, it's education. You have to do in Maryland, we have to do why can't I remember what it is? It's not ethics, like a bias, unconscious bias, I think is what they just added. And then some other different types of education you have to do every time your renewal comes up, so many hours. I think it's like 30 hours every 2 years. I think that's right. That we have to do. And we don't have to submit proof of it, but you have to have it. So if you get audited, you can show them, like, yes, I got my 30 hours, or I was a teacher, I taught. So here's the classes that I taught, or whatever, in nursing or whatever. And so, yes, if you don't have your license, then in some states it's illegal. In other states, it is, you can lose your ability to, like, if your license isn't active, let's say you actually do have a real license and you just let it go, you let it go, like you didn't renew it, or you didn't do what you're supposed to do, you can lose your ability to renew your license. So in many cases is state specific as to what happens. And then, like, for practicing law without a law license, it obviously is that, well, not obviously, and I say obviously because it may not be obvious, but that would be illegal. So but whether it's illegal or just a violation of your licensure depends on the state, and I guess it depends on the type of practice. It might be different. It might be different by state. It might be different. I have to look at it to see, like, but yeah, but there are consequences, and you definitely. So even as I've heard about this young woman who's saying, I'm a therapist, but you know, in order to be called to call yourself a therapist, like in order to call yourself a nurse or an attorney, you have to have your license, and you're only a nurse or an attorney in the states where you have those licenses. Like I said, on the nursing side, there are some exceptions because we have like a compact act, which includes lots of states, and you could get what is called a compact license without having a specific license in that state. It's just, anyway, for the most part, you have to have a license in that state. So I can't just go to like Hawaii and start working as a nurse because I have a license in Maryland. I have to go through a process and apply for their license and show that I went to school and show my education. Nursing is really strict. They want to see your degree. They want to see your paperwork. They want to see all your stuff. Or you won't be getting that license. They want to see all your stuff. So, yeah. So anyway, if I just went to Hawaii and just started working, yeah, that would be a problem, even though I am a nurse. And that would, in fact, affect my nursing life. If I went to Hawaii and just started working as a nurse and just said, yeah, I have a license, and I got caught doing that, it would impact my license in Maryland, because that would be illegal to do that. And when you renew your license, they ask you, have you committed any felonies, any crimes, and since the last time you renewed your license? And if you answer yes to that question, 9 times out of 10, you have to go in front of the board and say what it is, because in nursing, one of the things that you are held to is the standard of, ethics and that kind of thing. So yeah, anyway, it was just, as I was reading it, you say in California you need 40 hours in CEUs. Yeah, like a lot of the states, is that in nursing? In Maryland, I'm almost certain we have to get 30. I should know that, but it's every 2 years. And a lot of times I do so much teaching. Oh, I missed some comments. Okay. It's also, as the consumer of those services, the licensure is to assure us that this person is qualified to perform this service and is being held to the standard. Absolutely. 100%. Like that right there is what, as a person who has 2 licenses, that's what I think about is the number one thing. Like, it's a consumer protection part. And then the other stuff is like afterwards. But the primary thing is that, the consumer knows if you have this license, that means you kind of take for granted that this person knows these basic things about whatever it is that they're doing. If they're a therapist, they know what they're doing when they show up and say, hey, I'm here to give you your physical therapy. Like, that they're not going to do something that's going to cause you more harm, that they're going to make you better instead of making you worse. Or your nurse shows up in your room and says, I'm a registered nurse, or I'm a licensed practical nurse, that when they start hanging your IV or giving you medication or doing an assessment, that they actually know what they're doing. And when they say, oh, everything looks good, that actually means something. And it's not like, whatever. It meant nothing, Okay. So, you said every 2 years. Okay. Yeah, ours is every 2 years, which I'm glad, because the year goes by fast. Every time I turn around, like, I have to renew my law license every year, and it feels like it goes by so quickly. It's like I feel like I just did it, and then it's here again. It's here again. I have a law license, and I have a nursing license and a law license, and I keep both of them. I had 2 nursing licenses, but I let one of them go, which is, in Maryland, it's not a requirement, or at least I didn't know, because when I was a licensed practical nurse at first, and then I went back to school and became a registered nurse. And I worked so hard for both of my licenses. I'm going to tell you, when I first became a registered nurse, I still renewed my licensed practical nursing license. Not because I was going to be working as a licensed practical nurse, because a registered nurse supersedes a licensed practical nurse. But it was because I worked so hard for it. I was like, I worked for this. This was really hard for me. I did it when I was in high school, and I remember how hard it was, how much sacrifice I had to make when I was in high school going through this nursing program. It just meant something to me physically, and I wasn't ready to let it go. But then at some point in time, you realize you're paying money for something that you're not using. And so I just, retired it. because I'm never going to use it. Most places you can't work as they will not allow you. I don't know if it's illegal or not, but they won't allow you to work as an LPN if you are a registered nurse. They just don't, because there is a separation, there is a scope of practice, and LPN has a less or lower, I don't know if lower is the right word, but they have less things that they can do under their license than an RN. And if someone knows your RN, they're going to be expecting for you to practice at the scope of your registered nursing license. So yeah. But when I was listening to the woman talk about, when I was listening to her talk, I was just like thinking to myself, yeah, it's a little bit more than, a little bit more complicated than that. Okay, so we are going to, because we're going to talk about this and we're going to never finish this dress, which we could keep talking about it, but because I think the dress is going to be pretty straightforward. Okay, so now we have taken apart this arm. I took apart the shoulder piece. And the next thing that we are going to be doing is we are going to be attaching our straps. But what I am going to do is these straps are going to be long. Mine are going to be too long because I made them too long, but I know that I need more than that little piece to tie. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually sew these two pieces together. And then we're going to connect them at the under the arm seam. We're going to line those seams up. And I'll show you in a minute. Let me just sew these two pieces together. So right sides together, these are going to be your finishing pieces to your arm and also your straps to your dress. Oh, before we actually tie this on, I'm sorry, we do have to do our bias tape under the arm, because the underarm part does need to be finished, because you are going to finish, you're going to close that part off when you attach this piece. So let me just finish this, and then we're going to do our bias tape. So yeah, the way that, so like I said, when I went down a rabbit hole, then I started watching a whole bunch of other stuff, and I thought to myself, yeah, as a person that goes to therapy, has went to therapy, has had therapists, yeah, nope, they're gonna have to get somebody else to do it. Let's see. You said, so what is her issue? Is it about money, getting clients, or facing legal repercussions? I mean, I think that as from somebody on the, like, I don't think that she sees any of those things as being an issue. I don't know. I mean, this is me speculating because she hasn't said enough for you to really know. But if in fact, so this is what I will say. If I'll use if then statements. So if she is not licensed in most areas, you can't then call yourself a therapist. That is what I've learned and believe just based on my own personal knowledge, and then what I've saw some other subject matter experts who are therapists. So having a license works similar to the way it does for therapy, works similar to the way it does in nursing and in law, and that you get your education and then you complete whatever practicum, hours, internships, whatever you have to do to show that you can apply the knowledge that you learn in a real practical situation. You have so many hours or so much time that you have to do that part. And then once you complete those two things, then you take an exam, some type of exam. And once you take your exam, then you can, if you pass the exam, then you get a license. And once you have the license, then you can bill insurance and you can call yourself whatever the appropriate title is for the license that you hold, whatever kind of therapist that is. If you have not done all those things, completed them to the level that they're required to be completed, then you can't call yourself a therapist. And it would be misleading to tell someone that you're a therapist and you haven't done the prerequisite tasks, education, taking the licensing exam, doing the practical hours or whatever it is that you're required to do that. That would be, in some states, there are There are legal ramifications. In other states, there are ramifications that relate directly to the license that you would have held, or would apply to. Like you could be prohibited or barred from, if you ever did want to do it in the future. Let's say you never had it but you want to do it in the future, you could be prohibited or something like that from ever getting it in the future. So so that's the licensing part, calling yourself a therapist, but you don't actually meet the criteria to be able to do that. Then the other part is that, whether or not there's been question about whether or not she has a doctorate degree, and whether she's completed the requirements. So she calls herself a doctor. Other people call her a doctor, and she purports to have, or says that she has a doctorate degree, but the internet sleuths, they have done the digging, and people can't find the degree anywhere. And so people are questioning whether she has the degree, and have looked at all the places that she says that she went to get the degree, and they're like, yeah, we can't find no information. And so again, it's one of those things where you can't say I'm a doctor and then you haven't completed the coursework, PhD or whatever, which I think is what she's saying. She has a PhD in, some level of psychosocial therapy. Right, exactly. And so, people say they can't find it. And, most PhD programs, most doctorate programs, you have to do like a dissertation. You don't have to do that for law. But I don't know any other ones where you don't have to do the dissertation. Law is the only one that I know of. There may be others, but you don't have to do it you don't have to do a dissertation to have your Juris Doctorate, which is what the degree that you have when you go to school to become an attorney or a lawyer. But people are looking for, because when you do your dissertation, like I literally was helping someone to complete their dissertation, someone else who was going through their PhD program, becoming a doctor of nursing. And when she was defending her dissertation, she sent like invitations out to the world. When I tell you, she did it virtually. When I tell you there were so many people, she was in a classroom presenting to the panel of, I guess I'm going to call them, professors or other people that were asking questions. And there were students, I think, in her class also that were in that classroom that were asking questions. And then there was like, I'm going to say like 30 or 40 people, like one line, that were invited. And we're hearing her go through her whole entire, like she's doing her whole entire presentation. They're asking questions. People online were asking questions, and she's like responding to those questions and showing like the information, graphs, charts, all this stuff, and then literally during the presentation, they approved her. They awarded her, or whatever you want to call it, right there. Like right there, when at the end of her, presentation, they gave it to her. So, and she worked on that for a long time. I don't know how long. But she worked on it for a while. So anyway, it becomes public when you do your dissertation. It's public, because the whole purpose of doing that dissertation is you become a subject matter expert in something. You do research on a particular topic, and you take, most places it's like you have up to so many years to get it done. 5 years in a lot of cases is, I think, the maximum. Maybe that you can get extensions or something, but you are given that much time so you can do your research and have valid data. And sometimes your research takes you down the wrong way and you have to make adjustments, and you get professors that are assigned to you that help you, and then you write a whole paper on it that kind of talks through the whole process or whatever. And then all of that becomes public, because you are saying like, I'm a SME, I'm a subject matter expert in this, whatever this topic is related to my field, whatever the field that I'm in. And so it becomes public because people want to go back and see, like, what did you say? What did you do? What did you think? You're saying you're a subject matter expert in this particular area. let me see what you did your thesis on. What did you spend that 3, 4, 5 years researching and proving that lines up with the reason why you got your degree? People should be able to publicly validate that, because that when you do that, then that's what earns you the right to be able to call yourself a doctor. Let me see. What Shamir say? I can't see it. Oh, you said you're going to go to jail for fraud. Look, that's what I've been thinking. Okay, I'm putting the bias tape on the arm. I I I have like secondhand anxiety and embarrassment and I don't know, worry for her. I was watching something else where there was an actual therapist, and what they did was break down what the DSM-4, which is the big book of diagnoses and the criteria for every diagnosis in the world, let's just say, they were breaking down the criteria for narcissism. Oh yes, it was somebody who, because I ended up buying the young woman's book, but I haven't listened to it yet. I got it on Audible. And the one thing I noticed about Audible is they did not have the doctor on there. Audible said, yeah, but right now we're not going to do it. So they just have her name, not doctor on there. But anyway, I haven't listened to the book yet. But when I was on one of my plane rides, there was a young woman who broke down. She said, I'm going to do an honest review of the book. And she only got to chapter 2. She said, yeah, the level, she went into the video saying, I'm going to do an honest review of the book. And then as she's reading through chapter 1, she said, yeah, I can already see the clear signs of narcissism here, like all of the criteria that you have to meet in order to be. And so what she did was, instead of she was doing a review of the book. And by the time she got to chapter 2, she had checked all the boxes. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Now I really want to listen to the book because I want to hear exactly what is she saying. But she did give some examples of like she said in one area of the book, she was talking about it and she was being very grandiose. Like she said, like, oh, and I'm paraphrasing here. I'm sure she was paraphrasing, but she was like, yes, I pulled up to my $1 million home and I put on my, YSL lipstick and I put on my, like everything that she said was like a name brand this. I put on my Gucci jacket and I brushed my teeth with my, I don't know, my Louis Vuitton toothpaste or toothbrush or whatever. And it was like, this is supposed to be a self-help book. Why do you, I don't understand the degree at which you have to say all these things, in order to convey. So anyway, she was just like, yeah, you're supposed to be helping me. And this book feels already like it's all about you. And I'm only in chapter 2. And I haven't, learned one thing that's for me yet. So yeah, she said, I can't read anymore because I've exhausted my ability to read the rest. But I thought that was pretty interesting but a lot of people have a lot of commentary. One, because I will say this, I'm not gonna finish this dress. Let me tell you that right now. It's so easy to see your PhD information, and each school has records. Yes, at every level. So yeah, and that she was talking about how the school doesn't have her information. They don't retain the records. Like I said, the internet, you can't just be saying whatever, I had said to my boyfriend, I said, she must think she the only one that got the internet. I said, this is 2026. Everybody got the internet. The library, like if you say something, they are going to validate it instantly. You're not even gonna be able to take your second breath without somebody saying, wait a minute. I just pulled up my transcripts of the school that you said you couldn't get yours and I graduated before you. So what's the problem? My personal opinion is the reason why they probably only hold on to completed transcript and degree information. And if you didn't complete it, they probably only keep it for a certain amount of time. Nobody has said that, but that's my thought as to why they don't have her stuff, because she probably didn't complete her. She probably took some classes, but did not actually complete her degree. So maybe that's why they don't have it. I don't know that for sure. Nobody has said that, but that was my thinking as to why all these other people say they have theirs and she doesn't have hers. Maybe that is why. But I just was thinking to myself, you've gotten yourself caught into a situation, and it's hard, I guess. I mean, and I'm sure it's probably very difficult for her to come out and be like, yeah, I wasn't 100%, if in fact that's the case. Because maybe she just like, look, I've done all this stuff and I ain't got to show you. That's what she's saying. But in any other field, I might be like, yeah, you could get away with it. But your field is about self-help, and your credentials and validating that is a part of like your responsibility. But I was saying to myself, we work really hard. If you have a degree, it's up somewhere at somebody's house. Like, I have all mine in my office. And when I'm on my Zoom in the office, you can see them all right behind me. I'm very proud of all of them. And my children, that reminds me, I got to get my daughter one. I've got my kids that do have degrees. I got to get my daughter one because she just finished her nursing program. But my son, I got him, a frame and stuff, because those things are expensive for their degree. Because I'm like, you work hard for this. You need to put this up, and because you work hard for it. And I don't talk about it all the time, but trust me, you can, if you go back far enough on my Instagram, you will see the pictures of my graduation. And I have a lot of degrees, and I only went to one of my graduations. I was not a graduation kind of person. I did my cap and gown stuff. Like nursing, you have to go to some parts of your graduation, but I didn't go to the school's graduation because I was like, yeah, I'm not sitting through that. They're boring. Just give me my papers, let me go. But the nursing graduation I went to, and for my JD, that was the first graduation besides high school. Yeah, I didn't go to graduation for my master's. I didn't do my bachelor's. I didn't do my associates. I just did my JD. Yeah, I didn't go. I was trying to think, did I go? So, but you still see, I went out to eat. I did all the things. Because guess what? You work hard for that. And you're not only you work for, but your family. Like, you don't go through that kind of stuff by yourself. Your family also is making sacrifices along the way. You say you still need to get yours framed. Yeah, it took me a while to frame mine, but because I didn't go through the school, because that stuff is so expensive. That's why I actually got my son his, because I was like, after I had bought mine, I realized like, oh, this stuff is expensive. It's like, let me but I have it up now. I do. And like I said, I'm not like, I don't lead with it. I don't talk about it all the time, but you don't have to look far to find proof that it was completed. For sure. You do not have to look far. It is in the public domain. It is in the public domain, okay? So I just was, I was thinking to myself, like, as a Black woman, with a degree, especially with the law, and I've heard, again, I don't know, that they said there's only 2% of people, I think it says 2% of people that actually have PhDs, doctorate degrees, or maybe it's 2% of Black people. I have to look it up. I can't remember what the quote was when I went down these rabbit holes and I was watching all this stuff. But the same is true for law license. It's not that many Black women who are attorneys. So you don't want to be out here like embarrassing the field or the profession or by doing things that reflect poorly, you know. I don't know. That's what I think about. Because I know I worked really hard for. I thought I worked hard for my nursing license until I went to law school, and then I realized, oh, this is a whole nother level of effort. And it was partially because I was older as well, but it was hard. Shoot, very hard, very very hard. So yeah, I was like, I felt bad. I do feel bad, even though I talk to other people, like in my family. I don't feel bad. I'm like, yeah, I feel bad for her. I hope that she learns. I feel bad for her, but I'm also a little bit upset too, because I'm like, why? Why would you do that? You said more than any other segment. Yes, I know. Look, I know we out here doing the work. That's for sure. Because we have to. Because we know, look, we know the pathway to success is to get that education, get those degrees. And even though it's a little bit harder now than it ever was, in my opinion, that's why I always tell people, whatever you go to school for, I literally just had this conversation with my daughter, my youngest daughter today. I was like, you make sure that there is a job for you waiting when you finish, because it is not guaranteed and you do not want to waste. School is too expensive to go and finish and then you can't find a job, because that is a lot of people's story right now. I'm like, there are very few guaranteed, um, very few guaranteed degrees out here. Outside, I would say healthcare is probably one of the few. Even tech now, it's like you're not guaranteed anymore. You are not guaranteed, even in tech, which blows my mind. Okay, blows my mind. Okay, I am finishing my bias tape right now. I'm just putting this. I'm putting this strap, this top stitch down to stitch my bias tape down. But yeah, I was like thinking, oh my goodness. Right. Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, Shamir, that's what a lot of people saying. Just like you wouldn't be in this situation if you just would have been a life coach. You know, like it's life coaches are valuable. They serve a valuable role in society. They help people succeed. And they do a very different thing than therapists do. And you could have know, definitely done that. But I guess that wasn't, appealing enough, I presume. But I agree with you, because she would not have been in this category. This situation, if she would have just stuck with you know, I don't know, because she's been saying a lot of things that people have been proving, or at least creating a lot of suspicion around. All right, look at that. That looks pretty dang on good. So that's the inside. And this is the outside. Look at that. And that pink looks good, or whatever it is. With the mustard orange. That looks so good. That was a great combination. I'm so proud of myself for that. All right. So the armhole is done on the side. Now we're going to be attaching the strap. Now we're doing the strap. I really like that. That looks so clean and finished. All right, so now we're going to be finishing this part by taking our strap, and mine is extremely long. I will be cutting some off the end of this. And we're going to line up the center of this with the center of where the other underarm meets. So the opposite side. So hold on, let me show you. So here's the side we just did the bias tape on, and this is the other side. We're going to be matching the middle part of our strap. And again, this is a strap slash finish, kind of the finishing part. And we're going to pin all this around. Oh, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Nope, right sides together, sorry. I'm glad I saw that before I pinned all this together. Yeah, but let's see. She could just yeah, she could sell her book without that trauma. I think that is her end game. Yeah, you know what? Well, you know what? Somebody else said that. Again, I went down a rabbit hole, and somebody did say, and oh yeah, so when I went down the rabbit hole of that, I ended up seeing this clip of. I saw a whole bunch of clips because, like I said, I went down a rabbit hole that I probably shouldn't have went down. But when you are flying on a plane for hours, it's easy to just go down the rabbit hole. So I went there. I watched this clip. This actually made me not like the person, because I'm just like, it was a clip with her and Torre, and they were, I guess, doing a podcast or something together, like a video podcast together. And oh, you know what? That was my grandson. My grandson likes to play with my, the pincushion, the tomato. He came over here and he grabbed my thing, talking about, look, Gigi, it's a tomato. I'm like, boy, if you don't put my thing back. Look, he came right in here and grabbed this, talking about, look, Gigi, it's a tomato. I'm like, boy, if you don't put my thing back, well, you get stuck. So it was this video with her and Torre. They were on a podcast. And she literally, like, it was cringy. She, like, what is it? Emasculated him. I mean, she had, like, the clip that I saw the person put up, as they were just kind of talking about her character or whatever. And they will go to this clip. And in the clip, they're talking about disciplining children. And she, her position was that people should not be doing, like, gentle parenting, that it's not helpful, and that, children struggle if you, do that. Basically, that they have to have some type of discipline. And by discipline, I'm assuming it's, maybe she's speaking about physical discipline, but she didn't say that. She just said they have to have discipline, blah, blah. This was only a portion, so I don't know. I didn't watch the whole video of that actual podcast. I just watched a portion that this person was showing to kind of demonstrate her, her behavior. But so she gave her whole thing. She might have spoke for like, I don't know, let's say 5 or 6 minutes straight about, gentle parenting, and she, her position on it. And then apparently they were ending the podcast. So then Torre goes to say, his part. And he was, I guess his role was to be, I'm assuming he either was in opposition or his role was to be in opposition. So as soon as he started saying his position, she like immediately like cut him off and started challenging him. And he was just like, am I going to get to say anything? Basically, like, we've already talked about this, because I'm assuming she must always like cut him off and not let him get his 2 cents in. And he was like, like, I'm trying to wrap the show up. We already had a conversation about this, like off camera, that you're not supposed to be cutting me off. And she starts cussing him out, dropping all kind of F-bombs, talking about, you don't talk to me that way. You talk to your wife that way. I mean, it was the other two guests on the show. I had like secondhand embarrassment for them. And then the executive producer gets on and mutes Torre's mic, which I thought was totally wrong. Did not mute this woman's mic, who was going off and looking totally inappropriate. I was just like, yeah, that made me, because I was like, I mean, she just went from 0 to 100. It was just really, if you see that clip, you'll know what I mean. It was just so disrespectful. Hey, Diary. Right. No, you're right. I mean, she knows that people do value a doctorate. If you have a doctorate degree, people do. I mean, and as they should, because if you have one, then you've worked very hard for it, and so you should get a level of, okay, so I have pinned my strap all the way to the end, and now I am going to be just sewing just from here all the way around. This is the first part. Then the second part is we're going to be folding this in half. But first things first, we're going to be pinning. So again, you're pinning it right sides together. And then we're going to sew all the way around. But yeah, I think you're right. I think you are 100% right that, well, this is what I will say. I think that she has a personality to her. She's got that little bit of like entertainment type of it factor, in my opinion. So I feel like even if she wasn't like pretty, or even if she didn't have the degree, I think that she's entertaining. So I think that from that perspective, she would have been able to get in the entertainment industry. Like, she would have probably, because she's very opinionated. So I feel like she would have got something. I just don't know that she would have had probably all of the opportunities, because clearly some people have invited her on because she is a doctor, because they think she's a doctor, and they feel like she's coming on as a subject matter expertise in whatever, in the behavioral health or whatever the, therapy area that she's, relationship coaching or whatever that she's, that she's working in. So yeah, she probably wouldn't have gotten those things or the respect for her opinion in those areas without that degree. But, ooh, what's happening here? Okay. So yeah. But that's a whole mess. That is a whole mess. And I honestly, I'm gonna tell you, this shows you what I know. Oh man, did I run out? I did. This shows you, I'd never heard of the woman before I saw that Joe Budden podcast. Never heard of her. I didn't know who she was. Somebody was telling me she was on some kind of teenage pregnancy show on TV, I'm like, yeah, that's probably why I don't know who she is, because I don't watch TV all that much. I probably watch YouTube more. um, but yeah, she apparently has been around for a while, but I never heard of her. I never heard of her until this controversy. But it's sad if you ask me. And I mean, I would say the one, if you look at it from a positive perspective, I think that all of these people that are coming out, especially, Black women and men who are saying, but mostly women I've seen that are like, I have this degree. It just shows you that there are people that are doing the work and are, doing the work, but doing the right thing. And that is actually, you didn't know, but now you know. And if you didn't know, now you know. So from that perspective, I would say that's a good. That is a good thing, right? I never heard of it either, and this is a shame. I mean, that she didn't do it the right way, or she got caught up in all this controversy because, like, there were some people that were comparing her to what's his name, Samuel. What's the guy's name that passed away? But he was high value, low value, whatever. I can't think of his name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. That guy. There were people that were comparing her to him, but without the, I guess, kind of thought about relationships that he, I guess, had put into it. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of his. What's this? Kevin Samuels. That's it. Thank you. I wasn't a fan of his, but there were some people who I knew were and subscribed to his high value, low value kind of thing. I didn't, but there were people that did. And I thought, well, I mean, if I was her, I wouldn't be happy with people comparing me to him, but she might be happy with it. I don't know. I don't know. But that whole thing, this whole week, I've been, like I said, I've been on planes all week, and that's all I've been watching the whole week. I haven't had to look. You know how YouTube is. Once you start looking at it, it just feeds it to you. It just feeds it to you. So I've had nothing but that, all kinds of stuff about this young woman. Okay. So now we have this connected. And the next step is to fold this in half. Like I said, mine is long. I probably need to cut this before. And let me just see one thing really quick about how she's folding this. Okay, we did that. So if you do this, how do you turn it? Hold on one second. I'm trying to figure out how she's doing this next step. So let me just show you what I've done so far. So we have here's the strap. here's the underarm piece. And now the next step is that we have to finish our strap. And so that's what I'm looking at now. How is she finishing this strap? Is she doing bias tape there too? Yeah, we already did that. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Well, we're going to do this. I don't know what she's doing there, but we're going to do this our own way. So the next thing we need to do is finish this, our strap, finish this piece so that we have like a finished strap. So let me just see how I'm going to pin this and then I'll tell you what we are going to do. Because really I'm like, should I finish this piece? Or should we have finished it like that? Maybe she doesn't have that arm piece. I think that's what it is messing me up. I don't think it's going to be a big deal though, but yeah, that's what I think. I think. So one thing that I will tell you, I'm not going to cut mine now, but I can see what she did is that this piece right here, your arm piece, that would have become your like shoulder piece. She doesn't have that piece. She kind of cuts it so that it slants just straight across. So there's no shoulder piece because your shoulder piece ends up becoming your strap piece. So I think the way that I'm going to get around that is I'm going to fold. Let me think about this for a minute. You think so, Diary? You think they knew that she wasn't a doctor? Because I heard that the book that they're giving refunds now for people who bought the book based on the fact that she was they believe she was a doctor and that because she's not showing proof, they are now like giving your money back and the place is giving them their money back. So, and that's what I mean, because there was other podcasts that I watched that people were like, maybe they asked her and she didn't give it to them, but I'm kind of with you, Diary. I think they probably knew, but if they knew, I don't know. What is their responsibility? I don't know. Okay, I've changed my mind. I think what I am going to do is I think I'm going to cut these arm pieces so that means I'm gonna have to do this over. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I think I'm going to just make a dart right here. and get rid of this. So I need to get rid, this is your shoulder strap right here that we cut. So when you do this in the future, if you didn't already do it, don't leave your arm strap, because don't leave your shoulder piece. When you do your shirt, when you're making your outline, remember how I said you're gonna, so you actually are going to, you're gonna basically get rid of the whole strap. So this strap right here, you're not even keeping it. You're getting rid of that whole thing. So it's gonna be basically from the top of your underarm on this side to nothing on this side. So it's gonna be like that. And mine, I kept this piece, but you're gonna actually fold that down, because then you're gonna have that strap, which becomes your strap for your arm. And I didn't do that. So what I'm gonna do now is, I was gonna just cut it off, but I'm actually not. I'm just gonna make a dart that brings it over, so that it's going to be like a little bunched right there, but it's okay. I think it'll be just a design feature. So I'm getting rid of that. I could cut it, but then I have to re-sew the bias tape on, and I'm not doing that. So I'm literally going to just make up a little dart piece right there. It'll be like a little design feature. And then we will be able to finish these straps. Because I'm like, what is going on? Why am I struggling? And then that brings that right in line with the strap. And I'll show you what I did in a minute. Hopefully it doesn't look too crazy. There we go. So this is what I did. I basically just put a dart in there to get rid of it. So now all of this is going to fit like that. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And that's just bringing that little shoulder strap. So it's just going to be like a little gathered part. I'm mad though. I shouldn't have had to do that. I should have looked at it again. Well, I'm assuming that if they have to give those, refunds on the books for people that are upset, that any money that they gave her, I would assume that they're going to be getting that back. That she will have to give that back. That's what I meant to say. I think this is right. Yes. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right, let me just do that on this side. Okay, I was able to get rid of it by making that little dart. There we go. Got rid of the arm piece. The shoulder. All right, so now we have the strap piece that we have to finish. And I want to wrap this because then I don't have to. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. For the, and I'm doing this primarily because I have these raw edges that you can see are already starting to fray. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do a, and they don't do this in their instructions, but I'm going to do a rolled hem edge on this end, and that way I'll have this end finished. And then when I fold this in half, I'm going to cover this raw edge as well. And that way when I sew it down, it is going to be basically covering the inside, the raw edge. But in order for me to be able to do that, I need to finish this. So I'm just going to do a rolled hem edge on this end, the end that's not connected, because the other end I'm going to fold in. And so this end will be finished, this end, and then we're going to fold it basically like that. So then you have this kind of finished edge, and then we're going to just sew straight down. And then that will be that. I think that's the easiest way, simplest way. She can't make any money on the book until they recoup the advance. Oh, okay. The controversy has likely helped. Maybe, well, you know what? It might have helped with book sales because I never heard of her. And I got the book on Audible. I have an Audible subscription, so I don't know how that works, but I would have never bought it. I haven't listened to it yet. So, because I've been so busy in the dang one gossip world of YouTube, I don't know what. I have no idea, but I'm going to listen to it. I am going to, and then they said, now I don't know, I might be like, I have to let y'all know if I'm gonna be like that other lady, because I also heard that she is narrating the book. And after hearing the way she talked to Torrey, I don't know if I can listen to it, because that was just so, it was uncalled for. It was just so disrespectful. And yeah, so I'm gonna be thinking about that as I listen to it. But I'll let y'all know once I listen to it. But you're probably right. It probably did. The few people, for every person, one person that turns it, asks for their money back, probably 5 or 10 people bought it, because guess what? They probably want to know, what is she saying in this book? Especially, like I said, that one lady who did she basically was doing a book review, and she only made the chapter 2. To me, that actually made me say, let me go read this book and see what this woman is talking about. I still ain't read it yet, but I knew if I hadn't bought it, that probably would have made me buy it and say, what is she talking about in here? So I might have a whole different perspective after I read the book. But at this point in time, it all sounds like, entertainment kind of thing. And then she just got caught up by kind of talking about the licensing thing and being a doctor if she's not a doctor. But I can't imagine why you would be a doctor, but when you want to show your proof. If anybody had a question, be like, oh, I don't think she's a lawyer. Let me tell you, it would make I wouldn't be able to take a second. You wouldn't be able to take a second breath, because I would be like, it's public. There's no way you will find it, because I work too hard. I wouldn't even want anybody to think that. Even if I disagree with you, I thought you was being malicious, I wouldn't even want you to think that, because guess what? You could think a million things, but you can't think that, because that ain't true. But I will let y'all know, because by the time we see each other again, I will have politely listened to the book on 2x speed. That's not just for her book. I listen to all the books on 2x, because I need to get through it. That's a whole mess. Okay, so I am doing my roll hem, and it looks so good. This dress is coming along very well. Sorry about the confusion on this strap. if you are sewing along. Hopefully you didn't make the same mistake I made with the sleeve. With the shoulder. I think I am going to like this dress. I think the more at first when I was over there cutting the fabric, I wasn't fond of it, but as the dress is coming together, unfortunately, it's supposed to rain all weekend, so I don't know how that's going to go. 'Cause I was pumped about making this dress, because y'all know why I was going to wear it, but I'm not wasting this dress on a rainy day, because somebody going to see this dress. If it looks good on me, I don't know. If it don't look good on me, then I will. I'm still gonna wear it, but I'll wear it on a rainy day. If it looks good on me, I might wear it on a rainy day, and I might wear it again the next day. All right, let's get over this. All right, we made that. Yeah. Okay, I'm loving this for me. Oh yeah, no, I agree with you, Diary, that they are covering their butts, because if in fact they did know that she's not a doctor, or she didn't have a right to call herself a doctor, like I don't know what the requirements are to validate that. If you are a publisher, part of me feels like very little, because people can write about whatever they want to write about. So her controversy, I would think it's not like they wouldn't have any liability related to that. Like if I wanted to write a book that was like, oh, what I would do as president, and I wanted to call myself, a president, I would think they couldn't be like, oh, you're not really the president, so you can't write a book about this. I don't know. I think my personal thought is that their responsibility is probably limited. But to your point, they don't want to get sued, because even if you are right, getting sued and having to go through proving that you're right, is still costs money. And it costs money, and then you have to deal with the public opinion, which even if there is no legal requirement, let's say there is no legal requirement for them to prove it, it doesn't mean that the public agrees with that. They can still be like, oh, you shouldn't have never let her do it. So then they got a bad name in the public's eye as well. So I think that you're right, Diary, that them, kind of saying, oh, let's just give people their money back, is a way for people to not say, oh, I read this book, I thought she was a doctor, and I did something because she said do it, and I was harmed, and you are complicit in causing that harm. I think you are right. I think you are spot on. It's like, talking about unpacking stuff, that was a lot to unpack with that whole situation. The licensing, the coaching, the doctor. Like, oh, like I said, I went down a rabbit hole. Like there was a clip, because like I said, I never heard the woman, but she been everywhere, because there's clips for days of her speaking about a whole bunch of stuff. And she was on some TV show or something talking about that she had run for mayor in Los Angeles at one point in time. And then the person who oversees, like the government official, I believe that she was a government official that kind of oversees the elections and stuff, basically was like, yeah, she didn't run for mayor. Like, in order, she was like, basically there was, I'm making up these numbers, I don't remember them exactly, but she was like, there were 17 people that filed paperwork and were no, she was like there was 27 people that were eligible to run for mayor. I guess they did whatever, got the signatures, whatever they had to do to be eligible. There were 17 of them that filed paperwork, and this woman was not one of them. Yes, she did set up a website saying she was going to run for mayor. She did show up at some community campaigns, but she never filed any paperwork. And she was like, you can't run unless you file the paperwork, unless you are eligible to run. So she's, basically on this show talking about she ran for mayor. And running for mayor is more than putting up a website. Running for any public office. I was just like, Lord, she done got people out here. They fact checking her whole thing. Like, ma'am, you are being fat. Every word you say is, even years ago, because that was 2022. It's like, phew. When the public gets a hold of you, boy, they are relentless. All right, so I did my rolled hem, and now I am going to, next thing I'm going to do is I am folding, see how I'm folding this under, and I'm grabbing the raw edge here. So I'm basically going to fold that down like that. And then we are going to do I think we're doing a stitch in a ditch. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, that's what we're doing. Because then we're going to have a finished from the front and our finished from the back. Oh yeah, we're going to fold this under too. Maybe we should do this piece too. Okay, I'm going to do this other side just on the strap part, just because it'll make it easier to finish. So I'm doing another rolled hem, but you don't have to. You can literally just fold it. I feel like for me, it'll be easier to have them both. Especially because since I have this rolled hem foot, it's just so easy for me to just do it. Oh yeah, and it looks so good. It's like when the fabric and the thread line up, it looks so good together. This is one of those situations. I'm cleaning my sewing room up this weekend, especially since it's going to be raining. So next time y'all see it, it's going to look, all this stuff is going to be cleaned out. And I'm probably, now that I have my two tables, I'm going to pull out my serger. Because I've been being lazy and not pulling out my serger. And I need my serger. Like, if I had my serger, I would have been serging all these woven fabrics instead of having to do rolled hems to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. Because I'm feeling like I'm going to really like this dress. And that means it's going to get washed a lot. And I don't want it falling apart. Yeah, there we go. And let me just do this side. we'll see what the next controversy is related to this woman, because I have a feeling it's not over. I think it's going to be what was said earlier, which is some official charges that come out of it. Yep, it's still raining outside. I'm trying to see if those birds are still flying. Anybody sewing anything this weekend? Especially because if you're on the East Coast or in the DMV, it's likely going to be raining. So all of the festivals that you may have been planning to go to, you may not be able to go to, or unless you don't go out in the rain. Louise Hay. I don't know who that is. Who is that, Lala? Brooklyn Timmy? Who is that? I have to look her up. I'm not familiar. I know it's a big publisher because I've heard, only because of all these people that have been talking about it. Well-known publisher, but beyond that, I don't know anything else. Okay. All right. I have finished both of these sides. Now I am going to basically fold this over, press this, because it'll make it easier for me to sew this down. And then we're finished with the strap. And the last thing we have to do is our ruffled hem at the bottom. And it's done. It is going to be done. So the main thing I'm doing now is I'm basically laying it down, pressing the this hem line up so that when I fold down the strap, it'll all be basically sewn inside of it. I'm pressing it down, and then I'm going to press the folded part down too. I think I'm going to like this dress much more. Like the fabric much more than I thought. I like the dress. I think I'm going to like the fabric more than I thought I was. Woo, hot. Yeah, look at that. Oh yeah, this is going to look so good. I'm just pressing this up, and then I'm folding down. Woo, hot. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect on the inside. Just know that, because nobody's going to see the inside. So it does not have to be perfect. Last little part, and then I'm going to start sewing. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so just right now I am working on the ties, finishing the ties. Hmm. Go like that. No, I don't. Go like that. I was trying something different and I don't like it. It's like, oh, let me finish it this way. Oops. Good. Trying to pick this thing apart without putting a hole in my fabric. Which is a little more harder to do than I thought. Because this fabric is so silky. It's like when I'm trying to get the thread, it keeps pulling the fabric. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Nope. Oh my goodness. Come on now. All right, let me do this last. All right, I am folding that. Basically, I'm folding this down and doing my stitch. And then I'm going to finish with stitching together the straps. But I'm doing the part that's across the neckline first. Oh, let me change this. You see, big self-help writer. She started her own publishing house. Hay House was the go-to for all those who wrote about self-improvement. Ah, metaphysical. Okay, she was the publisher of. Ah, okay. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Learned something new. Thank you, ladies. I did not know. I just heard that, oh, people basically had said it was like a big publisher and that it's like a big deal to be able to get a book deal with that publisher, but that was the extent of what I kind of knew. So, wow. Well, you learn something new every day. And I definitely learned that. That's just unfortunate. Unfortunate. I probably should have pinned this down, but not. Well, I'm pinning this one piece, but the rest of it, I, I pressed it and I feel like it's held pretty good. All right, here we go. I think this is going to give me what I need. All right. Oh. All right, here we go. Let's wrap this part up. Let's try this again. There we go. I don't like stitching a ditch. It's not my favorite thing to do. I don't like it. But I'm doing it. All right, so far so good. Now, okay, I'm almost halfway done the first side. I mean, I'm almost halfway done. All right, halfway. Now I'm to the back. Oops. The tricky part is, again, because I'm doing this from the top, is making sure that everything is laid down so it's not bunched up or in the back underneath the underneath part. I'm not trying to get it perfect on the underneath part, but I am trying to get it perfect on the top. All right, almost finished. Now, yep, see, that's exactly what I want to make sure did not happen. I think it did. All right. So now we are to the strap. And because I've finished both sides of the strap, I did that curve, I'm literally just going to do a top stitch until I get to the end. So far, so good. And I meant to cut these straps, but I didn't. So they're just going to be long. I'm not cutting them now. Oh, she did. I'm going to have to look her up because I wasn't familiar, but now I want to know. Now I want to know. It's unfortunate that that had to happen to them, but if in fact there is blowback that goes on them, it's like hopefully not. But people sue for any and everything these days. And even when you're innocent, to have to prove it still takes time, effort, emotional turmoil, and all the other things. Okay, I'm almost done the first strap. Do the strap on the other side. And then we'll be done. And on to the ruffle. And at the end, I'm basically just folding under the raw edge. So that it will be enclosed. And I'll show you when I finish this one. For anybody that it's like, what do we do? I will show you this part. Anything to keep from having to turn a strap for me, because I hate that part. I'm just getting this turned edge together. Okay, there we go. All right, I feel like we are done. All right, last little piece. All right, there we go. Woo, that's done. All right, so this end, I still have to cut these straps off, but basically I folded it, the raw edge in, and then basically closed it and then sewed across the top. And that's how I enclose that raw edge. And then I just have to cut all these little strings off. And then we just have one more strip, just the strip part to do, or the strap part to do. And then we move into the last piece. Why is this not? These must be. Let's try these. Yeah, so this is going to be a long strap, but it's okay. I might shorten it later. But for now, it is going to be the long strap. I can't get this out. We're going to move on to the thing, and I'm going to have to finish this later. When I could take my time. Because this is a little tricky. Ooh, yeah. Okay, I'm getting some leeway. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Getting it loose, I think. Okay, got it. All right, there we go. I caught myself trying to take a little shortcut with this strap and it didn't work out. So, yeah, we won't be doing that. That's what I should have been did, just cut it off. All that time I took picking out this thing, these things are so long, I could have just cut it off. All right, here we go. Here we go. Again, I'm just lining up the raw, I mean, not the raw edges, but the ends of the strap. And I'm just doing an edge stitch all the way down. Hey, Anthony. I hope that someone does make this dress. You have options in terms of how you put the tie on. but I do think it's going to be a really cute dress. I know some of you like, well, let me see it first. Well, we are really close. Let me see. 2 hours. Okay. We are really close to being done. Ooh, okay. Let me. My bobbin ran out, but I have another one already. Because that one was only a half one. I was hoping I was going to finish this, everything but the ruffle, but almost finished the strap. Down to the last little bit. All right, there we go. Yes. All right, the straps are done. Just have to cut all the little threads. All right, straps are done. So that's how it's going to look. Again, these straps are super long, so depending on how it looks after I put it on, I might end up still having to cut these straps. The good news is that it's going to be just a cut, so nothing major. All right. So the last thing we're going to do is we are going to be adding our ruffle. So the first thing we got to do is make the ruffle. I cut my skirt, my dress around was 36 inches around the bottom. So I cut 2 times that. You may try it. Hey, Monica. I hope you do try it. I hope you do. So again, mine is 10 inches long, 36 inches. I'm sorry. I cut 2 36 inches width-wise. So it should be enough to give me a nice little ruffle. So my 2 36-inch pieces, what I'm basically doing is I have them right sides together already. I have used the pinking shears on them already. This is when I started pinking them, but then I didn't finish all the other pieces. So I'm going to just basically connect these pieces before I use my ruffler. So here are my pieces connected. Again, I have 2 36-inch pieces. It's 1 to 1.5. I'm sorry, 1.5 to 2 times the circumference of the bottom of your dress or skirt. And I'm doing my I'm doing my ruffler on one ruffle every 6 stitches is what I'm going to use. So the options I have are no ruffle at all, just a straight stitch, every one ruffle every 12, one every 6, and one every 1. Oh, what is this? Ruffler. All right, so here we go. I love the ruffler. I feel like it is a way to have like a consistent. Oh, it's canceled. Okay. All right. Probably because it's raining. It's supposed to rain all weekend, so. I had a plant to give you, but I'll bring it over next week. All right. All right, we're halfway through. What time is it? Okay, 2. Almost done. Right. So you can see how that is. This might be too small. It feels like it's not. It's going to be fine. That is what it's going to look like. And I think it's going to be fine. Let me see. I'm getting nervous. Like, is it going to be enough? I did 2 times. Long straps. All right. And where's my seam? So I'm finding my seam. I'm matching my seam up with my seam. But before I do that, let me do this really quick. I'm just going to cut. Use my pinking shears on this bottom portion because guess what? It's going to be exposed. It'll be quicker to sew it than to do a rolled hem on it, so, which is the other option. But if I put this in the wash machine, I can already tell it's fraying. Just when I look at it, it's going to fray everywhere. So this fabric has to be either pinked or serged. Here we go. All right. So that's done. Now I'm going to find, well, you know what else I need to do? Finish this end. I sew this end together. Look at that. Look how quick that is. And actually, you know what? Before I sew this, no, you know what? Yeah, I do need to do that. I'm gonna finish. This bottom, then I'm gonna sew it together. I'm the pinking shears queen. That is how I learned how to cut my patterns. So you cut your patterns, your actual patterns with pinking shears? That would save me a lot of time if I could do that. I mean, especially lately, because I haven't been using my serger. So, but I'm about to pull my serger out. I'm cleaning my room. My sewing room. I have said to myself, I'm cleaning the sewing room. I gotta finish these whips over here, which I don't have that many, but I do have a few. That's what bulk of that stuff over there is. And fabric that I pulled out. So it looks worse than it is. But I actually don't mind using the pinking shears, to be honest with you. I don't mind it. I need to get a new pair. I've been using them so much that they are getting dull, I can tell. Which is crazy because I've had them since I've been sewing. I've only bought those. So it is about time. Sometimes it's faster, that's for sure. It's not faster than a serger, but if you don't feel like pulling it out, but I'm gonna have it out. So what I'm doing now is I am doing something I don't normally do, which is finish the bottom of the dress hem line. Because it's going to be easier for me to finish it. It's going to be easier for me to finish it now than when it's on the dress. Oh, good. Let me just do this really quick. And then plus, if I like the dress and I don't have to do any alterations or adjustments is the right word, not alterations, then it will be done. It will be a done dress. We are almost done hemming it. If you don't have a roll hem foot, I'm telling you, you gotta get one. It's like the best thing. I use it all the time. It's like one of my favorite feet. One of my favorites. Look at that. Just like that, you have this perfect finish. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. So now I'm putting my regular foot back on. I'm going to close up this this ruffle, and then I'm going to attach it to the dress and hope that I don't have to pick loose any of these ruffles because the ruffle portion is too small. I don't think it will be, but because it is definitely 2 times the size. There we go. We are in the home stretch. In the home stretch. Okay. We've got the circle. And now we're going to line up our seams. Right sides facing. And I'm going to try to line up these seams best I can. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Not anymore. I use the overlocker, but that's how. Okay, you saying you used to. You used to. Okay, I feel you on that. So I'm basically attaching my seam at one end. I'm going to attach it at the other end, and then I'm going to attach everything in between. So this is one end attached. Where's my other? Make sure this is not also twisted. That would be the worst thing to happen is sew this on here and then it'd be twisted. Let me just. Oh yes, because that's the other thing my grandson loves is the little clips. He came here and got the clips and the little tomato. It's like, boy, if you don't put my stuff down. Oh yeah, this is going to be more than enough. I can see this thing is little. Right? Yes. All right, let me start over. So it got twisted, and that's what I thought it was going to do. Okay. All right, so here's this. And that looks little, doesn't it? Hopefully it's not. All right, here we go. All right, I'm doing right sides to right sides, but I'm starting at the seams. Please don't let this dress be too small. I will die. I have to give it away and make another one. I do have plenty of this fabric, so I could make another one with this. All right, so it's not going to be too small. I figured that out. So I'm just attaching it. There's going to be some places where I'm going to do a little bit of overlap. So I just fold it over a little bit, just little teeny pieces, so it still is ruffled but doesn't look too bunched up. Here we go. Ow, stuck myself. All right, so one half of the dress is pinned down. And if you don't like ruffle, you don't like a ruffle layer, you can always just do a straight hem at the bottom. That's an option you have. I like a little ruffle layer. All right, now do this side the same way. And again, I'm just going to do a couple of little fold overs just to make sure the ruffle can fit. What I could have also done, which is do some sections that were a ruffle every one stitch, but you got to be careful with that. You have to really kind of know how your late, your measurements and stuff. I'm not good at calculating it. I just always do. I tend to always stick with the ruffle every 6 and then do things like either snap the ruffle if I need more every so often, or do a little bit of fold over, small little fold overs if I need less. That's what I tend to do. It's just easier. So you still end up with a consistent looking ruffle like throughout the dress. It doesn't look, messed up or bulky or it looks pretty good. That's been my experience anyway. All right, I think I have it pinned. I'm just going to put a couple of extra pins in here. Make sure that I don't have any problems when I'm sewing it around. There's all my big I guess I gotta use these little ones. All right, I think we're good. Put this back in there. All right, last part is to sew this on, the ruffle on, and take all these 50 million pins out. I'm doing a 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right, here we go. Sticking all these 50 million pins in here. We are in the home stretch. Last little bit before we try it on. Just making sure all the raw edges are lined up so you don't end up with, you know, any pieces that are, oops, that are not fully attached. Any ruffle piece that is not fully attached. Cannot wait to try this on. Pray for me that it's going to fit. I've done all the things, so should be good to go. Okay, almost done. Last little bit. We will have a completely finished dress. With not even hemming left. Make sure this is folded under. All right, last part. All right. We have attached the ruffle to the dress. And now the last step is to try it on. So here we go. I'm going to go and put it on. Fingers crossed that it fits. Because I don't know. What is it? I don't know. Someone's crunching, but I'll figure it out. Okay. So I'm going to try it on and I will be right back. Okay, I have bad news. I could not get the dress on. So I'm gonna have to put a zipper in it. I do think the dress will fit. I think I just can't get it over my top, my shoulders. So what we are going to do is I'm gonna put it on the dress form so you can see it. Which one is this? 8, 12. Okay. So I'm gonna put it on this dress form. Then you'll at least be able to see it. And then I kind of had a feeling. I said, well, I have a zipper. I don't know if you remember me saying that earlier, but I'm gonna put a zipper because I do think I can fit the dress. I think I just can't get it over my shoulders, which I thought might not be a problem since it's hat one shoulder, but I can't get it over, which I'm sad because I really wanted to see how it's going to look, but we're going to all see it together unless I can't get it over this dress form either. Maybe we're not going to see it. Oh. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it on here. Let me see. Okay, maybe. Okay, it's. Nope. I don't know. The zipper may not be enough. All right, it's coming down. If I can't get it on this dress form, then I know it is going to be too small. Yeah. So if it's too small, what I will likely do is open up the side and put in a panel. Is what I will likely do. Okay, I'm getting it on. I think I might have to do that even if I get it on this dress form because I do not like to work this hard. And even with the zipper is not going to go up. But I want y'all to be able to at least get an idea of the dress. Because now that I possibly can't fit it, I really want it. Yeah, it's going to be cute, but I'm gonna have to put a panel in it. The good news is that this fabric is very loud, so you're not gonna be able to tell that I had to add a panel, but I can tell that I'm going to like it. And I'm gonna put a zipper in it too. Okay, almost there. Well, the good news is I know I'm going to be able to get it off because it's coming down. Yeah, this is going to be too small for me because I'm bigger than this dress form. That I know. But it is looking cute. So yeah, I'm going to open up the side. And I'm going to open up the side probably tonight because I want to wear this dress and I think it's going to be cute. All right, let me see if I can untwist it a little bit so that it fits the way it's supposed to fit. Ooh. Yeah, it is cute. It is very cute. Hold on, let me just see if I can twist this. I can't twist it, but this is, you can see it all the way. Let me pull it back some so you can see the back. But it is cute. It just doesn't fit me. It is very nice. I am going to fix it because I like it. But if you can, let me see if I can put this down a little bit more. Okay. All right. So move this back. Move my girl back. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is the dress. I would say that my mistake probably was not leaving enough because I used a t-shirt and thought, oh, it's loose fitting. I don't need to make that much more of an adjustment. But this fabric has no stretch and it was not getting over my shoulders. That was one thing. But as I'm getting it on this dress form, I also realized that I probably needed to make it a little bit wider for the hip area because this is a size 8 dress form and I'm probably a 10 maybe right now. I've been eating a lot lately. But let me put it back here so you can kind of see. It is super cute. I mean, I like it. I like that it's fitted. It's not loose. This is the back of it. And I even am okay with the long strap too. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it was going to look. So it'll probably be a little bit less. So my plan is to open it up on this side, put probably a panel right here, maybe like 2 inches going straight down. So that will require me to take out a portion of I'm not going to take out the whole dress, but I will take off this and take a little bit of the ruffles out. I had to do some extra overlapping, so that will be okay. The ruffles will still be okay. And then this is long, so that will be okay. So I'll just take out from here on, leave this whole front part and just take out this one back part. So that'll let me put a panel right in this seam right here. And because the dress is pretty busy, I don't think you'll really be able to tell because you can't probably, maybe you can tell, but it's really hard to tell that there's actually a seam right here. So I like it. I think it looks really, really cute. I'm sad that it doesn't fit because I finished it. This is like one of the few times that I've literally finished everything and I don't have to do anything else extra. Even the hem is finished. Everything is finished. And now I have to take it all apart. Not all apart, but I have to take some of it apart. So anyway, I really do like it. I wish I could fit it. I like it a lot. So I hope you all make it. You like the long strap? Yeah, I think it actually the long strap looks pretty good. It's way longer than it was supposed to be. Accidentally, I doubled the size of it, but um, yeah, I think I really like it. Oh, you know what? The other thing that I didn't do here, but that the lady does do, is that she does put a piece of elastic. She fishes a piece of elastic in here, just to give it that extra like tightness around here. I didn't do that, but I will probably do that when I go in and adjust this. That, that's gonna be really easy to just put a piece of elastic in there, to keep it like tight to your chest. Um, but yeah, so that wasn't too bad to do. It'll probably take me like an hour maybe to cut the piece, do some measurements, and cut out a little I'm thinking like a 2-inch piece, that I'll stick right in here, like a little side panel. I'll put it right in there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some measurements though first, just to make sure that I get it right. But yeah, I think it should be okay. I really like the bottom though. I like it definitely looks a little bit more than just like I thought, oh, it'll be like a nice little summer dress. I feel like it looks a little bit more like maybe I'm going to dinner in the summer dress, as opposed to I'm just going somewhere, anywhere summer dress. But I definitely like it. It's hard to even believe we made this without a pattern, right? It looks good. I really, really like it. So I hope you all make it. If you do make it, oh yeah, I think that will. I do think. Hey, precious pieces from Illinois. Hello, welcome. Thank you. If you do make this, please tag me. I would love to see if you make it. Hopefully, like the things that I shared in this process are helpful to you as you make the dress. I'm gonna eat and then take a little break, and then I will probably finish it tonight, just because I do like it, and because I like it, I'm gonna want to wear it. But then again, it is supposed to rain all weekend, so now that I really like it, I'm not going to wear it this weekend, because people have to see this, and they are not going to see it if it's raining outside. So this is not a weird dress to be worn in the rain. This is a dress to be worn when people are going to see it, when it's bright, when it's sunny, and yeah, maybe even just to wear to the supermarket, because people have to see it. So anyway, yeah, if you make it, please tag me. Let me know if you make it, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will let you all know. Well, you'll see it. I'll post it, and I need to post a shirt top from last weekend too, because I did go in and make the adjustment, and that fits perfectly. I need to unpack it because I took it with me. But yeah. So anyway, thank you all for joining. Thank you for hanging in here with me. And so Lala, in terms of the instructions, the woman who did it, she spoke another language. So I just watched her tutorial, and then I just wrote down what she did. And then what I did do is I wrote down what she did, and then I put it in Chat GPT, and I said, hey, I'm making this dress. I put a picture of the dress in, and I said, these are the instructions that I believe I need to follow. And they basically kind of said, yes, do this, basically, that's right. Make sure you add seam allowance, stuff like that. Because I didn't write. I just kind of said, oh yeah, no, I'm going to do this. And so it added that. So I couldn't understand what language I spoke, and I didn't listen to her, because once I realized she was speaking another language, I just kind of muted it, and just every time she did something, I just wrote it down. So what I did do was I put the prep instructions in the description of this video on YouTube. And so if you want to know how I prepped, and I talked about it at the beginning of this video too, but if you want to know how I prepped, what I did specifically, you can go into the prep instructions and know like how do you cut out your pattern pieces ahead of time. The one thing I will say is that I know that the mistake that was made here, why this dress doesn't fit, is I used a loose fitting t-shirt like this, basically a t-shirt that fits like this. and maybe a little bit tighter. This is the t-shirt I actually use. So it's not this loose. Maybe I would have been better off to use something this loose. So this is not a tight fitting t-shirt. And I thought, oh, okay, it's loose. And I did go out a little bit, but I didn't probably go out enough in the hip area. So I went out a little bit, but not as much as I should have in the hip area. So when I extended the top down, I just kind of did a gradual, like maybe I went out an inch between here and here, and I probably should have did like 2 inches out, but I knew I wanted it to fit tight too. So those are the 2 things that I would say I would do differently. I would probably either, if I'm not going to use a knit fabric, like this is probably right. If this would have been knit, it would have been no problem at all. But because if I'm going to use a woven, I probably should have grabbed one of my sleeveless woven tops, which probably would have been out here a little bit. And then I would have not had the problem that I had with getting it. I couldn't get it over my shoulder. So I don't know whether the hip part fit right or not, because I couldn't get it over my shoulder. But based on how much it took me to get it on this, I realized it's probably not going to get over my hips either. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to put in probably a 2-inch panel in here. I feel like that should be enough. But before I do any of that, I'm going to do some measurements. Since I have it on this dress form now, I can kind of measure around, and make sure that 2 inches is going to be enough. I'm also going to put a zipper in, because I'm like, if I'm doing all this work taking it apart, I'm going to put a zipper in. So I am going to put a zipper in probably like right here, an invisible zipper, just to make it easier. And that way I won't have any problems if it's just a little bit, because then I know I can get it on. But yeah, I really like this. This is so cute. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. I cannot wait. I got the perfect shoes to wear with this. Some mules. Yes, this is going to be so cute. Right. Well, this lady might have been Russian. I don't even know. Maybe I have to go back. Oh, you know what? Maybe she was like, I don't know. Let me not even start to guessing. I have no idea. Because like I said, I heard the first little bit and then I just muted it and was like, my whole goal was to write down what she's doing anyway. So that's what I did. But it's a cute pattern. It's a cute dress. I'm sad I cannot fit it, but you will see it on me because the adjustments are going to be easy to make. It's just time. It's going to take me time. What's going to take me time is taking out the dang seam ripping. That's what's going to take me time. Seam ripping. Part of me is like, should I just make another dress? I might give this to my daughter. I might just make another one from scratch now that I think about seam ripping. Yeah, I might make another one. I have 8 yards. And this is probably 2 yards. 2.25. Oh, yes. Thank you, Lala. If I do it, thank you. I appreciate that. Adding the seam allowance. Yes. That's probably why I shouldn't do it tonight, because that's a mistake I would have made right there. Yeah, I could cut it on the bias. I hesitate because I don't like wasting my fabric, and I always feel like when you cut stuff on the bias, it wastes the fabric. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I'm gonna see what I feel like doing. I might send a picture of this to my daughter and see if my oldest daughter wants it, because she would be able to fit this. She's much smaller than me. It probably might be too big on her. But yeah, so either I'm gonna make it over, because I don't feel like it took that long. Even though we spent 3 hours, I don't think it'll take me 3 hours to make it again. Especially not on live, because I'll just be sewing and making it. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, because I don't know if I feel like seam ripping. That y'all saw how long it took me to seam rip, because this stuff is not this fabric is not good with the seam ripper. I feel like the time it takes me to seam rip this, I could have cut everything again. Because how much I'm going to have to seam rip this little piece at the top, the skirt, and then that whole side part. Nah, and I'm not going to do it. I'm going to make another one. I'm going to make another one, and I'll give this one to my daughter. If she likes it. If she don't like it, then I'm going to seam rip it because I'm not wasting my fabric. Especially because I like it now. If I didn't like the fabric, I wouldn't care, but I do like it. Whatever I liked about it when I first saw it, I like about it again. I don't know what I was thinking when I was cutting. I didn't think I liked it, but I like it. It looks really cute. I feel like the camera does not do it justice. It's cute. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to probably just make another one. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I would rather spend my time making another one. I'm going to give that to my daughter. We could be twins. We could be twins. Right. It won't take long to make another one. Yeah. Yep. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make another one. I'm going to go get the right shirt. Yes, I'm going to make it. It's going to be raining all weekend. I'm making another one. So stay tuned for this. Please let me know if y'all make it. This is so cute. Super cute. I really like it. And it does not take 3 hours to make. We were chatting and talking. So definitely don't take 3 hours to make it. But even if it did, it's worth it because look at it. It's so cute. Anyway, thank y'all for sticking around. Thank y'all for keeping me company. Thank for y'all for informing me and updating me on Hay House. I learned a lot. We had great conversation. Thank you, Diane. And stay tuned because I'm going to make it again. In fact, I'm getting ready to get something to eat, get my fabric, go find my shirt and cut out my stuff tonight. And then tomorrow I will resew it. Tomorrow. So stay tuned. All right. Thank y'all. Have a happy Memorial Day weekend. Even though it's raining here. But hopefully you get to do some things that you want to do anyway. But yeah, I will see y'all. I'm not going to be here next week. Oh, that's the other thing. So I have a late flight on Friday. So we won't be back next week, but we will be back the weekend after. So I know I've missed a lot of time lately because my work schedule has been crazy, but I think May has been crazy. I feel like I missed like 2 weeks in May, 3 weeks in May. But after that, like I literally just got back yesterday. So after, I think June, July, August, September, I think are all going to be good. I have to look. But it won't definitely be like how it's been the last couple of months where I've missed like I'm here and then I'm not here, I'm here. I think we're going to be back to regularly scheduled programming for sure. Either way, I'm going to do the same thing I did this week. We are doing another no pattern garment, and I will put the prep directions in the description so that way if you do want to prep and sew along, you can. So anyway, stay tuned for that. And I will see y'all not next Friday, but the Friday after next. I will see y'all. So anyway, stay tuned because I'm going to work on this before next Friday. I'm actually home all the way until Thursday. I leave on Thursday. So yeah, so I will have time to work on this. You will see this before then. All right. No, I'm not. Is that this weekend? I'm not going. I wish oh, you know what? I'm not going. I was going because I'm actually going to be on vacation that time. But I think I'm going to my cousin who plays golf. I don't even know if I told y'all this. So my cousin, who I think I've told y'all about, she plays golf. She got picked up to do Steph Curry's golf tour. And so the weekend of the Frogtails is one of the weekends that she is going to be playing in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I want to go see her play. So that's why I'm not going. Otherwise, she is going to be in Florida one weekend, but it's not that weekend. So that's why I'm not going, because I decided I don't have much opportunity and I really want to go see her play. So, and I love Arizona. Y'all heard me talk about Arizona I love it. Scottsdale, I like. Phoenix, I like. So I'm going to go see her play. So I would not be there. But if anything changes, I will let you know because I know you're going to be there. I'm hoping that you're going to, I mean, I'm thinking you're going to be there. Right? Isn't that so cool? So I'm just really excited. I want to be able to go out there and support her. And I just had, like, that's the weekend that I'm taking off anyway. So I was like, oh yeah, we'll just big. I mean, I'm not going out of the country because I turn 50 next year, and that's when I'm doing like big vacations, spend big money kind of thing. So I'm like, we need to take it easy this year and do like local, not local, but stateside stuff, not out of the country stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm like, let me go. Let me go. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll let you know when. I'll let you know. Actually, I could tell you because I know. Um, let's see. I know. I could tell you. Um, so it's the underrated tour, and she is going to be University of Florida. Oh, actually, you know what? I think it is that is so when is the South Florida Frogtails? I know, isn't it coming fast? It is coming fast. It is coming fast. That's why I gotta get myself together because I don't want to be looking crazy on my 50th. Thank you, Lala. Thank you. So, when is South Florida Frogtails? June 27th. Okay, I might be coming because so she's at University of Florida. Um, she's playing there June 30th through July 2nd. I'm actually off. I'm on vacation that week, the week before. So I actually might go. I might actually go. So, because Scottsdale is the next weekend, or in the 2 weekends after that, which I am off that time, that period. So yeah, I might go. I will let you know. I need to work out the logistics. I had my dates all mixed up. I'm glad I ain't buy any plane tickets because that would have been a whole mess. I definitely had those dates mixed up. Okay, so yeah, I might be going because we'll be in Florida anyway. I don't know. I gotta look and see the distances and map it all out and everything. Um, but yes. So yeah, I might be going because she's gonna be there that and she'll be there early because she'll get down there and start practicing. So it'll be good if I be there. I could be there, go to Frogtails, then not hang out with her because she'll be like focused, but be there, go to dinner, stuff like that. So yeah. Anyway, I'm glad you asked me that because I definitely had these dates mixed up in my mind. Um, but yeah, okay, I will let you know. I'll send you a DM and on Instagram. I gotta work out the logistics. I gotta look at the hotel distance and all that. I gotta look at where South Florida Frogtails is and all that. So I need to go on Instagram. I'll probably do that tonight. Um, while I'm sitting down cutting this new pattern for my beautiful dress right here. That dress looks so good. It looks so good. I'm very happy with it. I'm only sad that I can't fit it. And I can't lose enough weight to get in it that quickly. Um, Look at that. I could wear that to Frogtails. To me, it looks that good, I think. You said it's far, like a plane ride far? I'll look it up. I'll figure it out. If it's a plane ride, I got points. Is it like is it like Fort Lauderdale to Miami? You said I can wear that, right? I know, right? I'll wear it now and wear it then. It's mine. Um, I'll look it up. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up and see. Gainesville. Okay. You said yes. A plane ride. Okay. Well, I got points. I got points. It might be like fly there, fly back kind of thing. You know. Okay. Got you. Got you. Okay. Well, it's not too bad. It's still doable. It's doable. Because it's on the 27th and her stuff is the 30th. So maybe it is I fly in there and then go. Let me figure out logistics. And then I'm gonna see. My boyfriend will be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" So yeah, okay. Let me figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out and see if I can make it work. So, okay. Happy Friday. Y'all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. My birthday is next Wednesday, so I'm going to be doing all the things that I want to do. That's what celebration looks like to me. And sometimes all the things I want to do is relax. Oh, okay. It's giving me reference to distance. Okay, got you. Okay, I'm going to map it out. I'm going to look at the airlines, stuff like that. I'm going to map it out and see how easy it is. I have points, so the flight part is actually probably, I'm not worried about the money part of it because I got points, so I can definitely fly. I know it's not going to use all my points because I got a ton of points. So if it's just a matter of, taking a 30-minute flight or something like that from one part of Florida to the other, I think I can manage it. And plus, I already got my dress. Well, I don't have it, but I will have it once I remake it. So, yeah. So I'm going to figure it out. But anyway, thank y'all so much. Thank you for that information. Brooklyn, Timmy, thank you for that. And thank y'all for joining. I hope you make the dress. Stay tuned because I will be remaking this dress in my size. So yeah, so that I can wear it to Frocktails, right? We'll wear it home and then wear it again to Frocktails. I just won't take any pictures. And then I'll wear it again like I never wore it before. And then I'll wear it a whole lot more, especially if I really like it. So yeah, there's that. It does look like a Florida like dress, especially with the little ruffles at the bottom, which I like. Okay, anyway, thank y'all. Good night. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for my birthday wishes. I appreciate them. And thank y'all for joining. And I will see y'all in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, not next week, but the week after. So thank you. Thank you, Thank you, Diary. Thank you. Thank you for the information. Like you came with all the facts about the publishing company. I appreciate that. And thank you for the birthday wish. All right, everyone. I will see y'all in 2 weeks. And stay tuned because y'all will see the dress before then. Bye.
Let's get social. Come and sew with me.